What up, guys? I'm here to talk to you about my field experience. So I had two places. The first one was in a place called Cares Northwest, which was in Northeast Portland. It was about an hour commute and 45, 50 minutes on the way back. So that was a time commitment, but definitely worth it. And I'll get more into that place later in the video. The second place was I did ride-alongs. Ride-alongs were weekly in Newburgh, but I also did like three or four other ride-alongs with Salem, Beaverton, and Washington County, which were actually 10-hour shifts. At Cares Northwest, I was in charge of hanging out with the kids before their interviews. I'll tell you a little bit more about Cares Northwest. So they are a place where kids go in their toughest times. They've been abused, neglected, and more pretty tough things to see kids going through. So I was in charge of hanging out with them and finding ways to make them feel more safe and comfortable, so that I could start the rapport building process. So they would open up to those adults and allow the interviewers, the social workers, and law enforcement to understand how to best help them moving forward. So I did play a lot of soccer. I did watch a lot of good movies. I colored, did Legos, and did some scavenger hunts. The second field experience opportunity was the ride-along. So during my ride-alongs, I was allowed to follow and shadow cops in Newburgh once a week, but also with those other places I mentioned, and just see how they do their job. There was a lot of great dialogue, and I learned how to conduct myself in those moments. You don't really ask them how their day's going. You don't ask them what they like to do for fun. You really want to see how they look at different situations and how they go about what processes they're moving through within their minds. So I saw a lot of great, I had a lot of great exposure and seeing a lot of pretty wild things. My personal reaction to these experiences, I consider them all valuable. I saw people in their toughest times, and I was able to learn how I feel about myself when I see people going through tough times. So going after that, so one of my goals were to see tough things, but learn how to compartmentalize. I didn't want to bring like hard things back home to my friends and my family, and into my sport. And I felt like I did a good job. Definitely was challenging at first, but over time I learned that I can compartmentalize pretty well. So some facts and concepts that I've learned in prior coursework that related to this experience. I felt like the most useful class that I probably took was counseling. Counseling, I was learned the prevalence of active listening and picking up on others' nonverbal cues. So a lot of times people weren't saying what they were feeling, but if you were able to pick up on their nonverbal cues, you would understand that they were either uncomfortable, feeling safe. I use that a lot for the kids. The nonverbal cues were huge in finding activities that they like to enjoy, and really just making them feel comfortable. Faith influences field experience by I feel like I'm meant to be on the front lines of psychology. This means I'm going to be doing law enforcement full time. So I was able to show people Christ's love to those people that don't see it every day. So because of this field experience, I definitely realized like, nope, law enforcement is the job for me. So next year, you'll definitely see me going all in on applying to law enforcement agencies after my military experience. For those watching this video that don't know, I just enlisted in the National Guard in October and graduate this May. After I graduate, 2 days later, I'll ship out for basic for 10 weeks and advanced training for 17. The goal is to have military experience paired with law enforcement to build a good resume moving forward. So basically, I want to say I'm super fortunate to have this experience. Thank you for Chris Case for connecting me with Cares Northwest. Thank you for this George Fox Psychology Department for connecting me with Newburgh Dundee Police Department. Those weekly ride-alongs were definitely a highlight of my week. The commutes were tough, but I was able to get through them because I knew I was making an impact, and as well as growing my resume. Definitely fortunate for the opportunity to do these field experiences, and I think if there's someone interested in law enforcement, definitely need to check out CARES and definitely look to connect themselves with those weekly ride-alongs with Newburgh. Thank you.